Wait, is it on? Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
Technology these days.
So, tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Marianne Lincoln, and I was born on December 13th, 1818. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, with my father, stepmother, and my 14 siblings. I became fluent in French at a young age, and was also a very good dancer. I also studied in drama, music, social graces, and politics. My job is to be a wife to you, Abe, and a mother to my 4 beautiful children.
So, what was your importance in history?
I'm the first lady to the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, you. I'm a political partner to Abe, and I support him in every way.
So, what are your feelings about slavery and the Civil War?
I support the abolitionists.
Why is the war important to you?
Well, this is the war that could divide the country forever. If the Confederacy were to win, it will be the end of the United States of America.
So, what was your experience in the war?
Well, I've had my family divided. We grew up in a border state, so half my family is with the Confederacy and half with the Union. My brother, George R.C. Todd, and my half-brothers, Alexander Todd, David Todd, and Samuel Todd, all fought in the Confederate Army during the Civil War. Alexander was killed at Baton Rouge. Samuel was killed at the Battle of Shiloh. David was wounded at Vicksburg. My half-sister Emile Hem's husband was a Confederate general. He was killed at Chickamauga. The husbands of my half-sisters, Martha White and Ella D. Dawson, are all supporters of the Confederacy. I also lost my dear son Willie during the war, and because of this, I became very depressed. Some even think I suffer from bipolar disorder. I also would visit the wounded soldiers and give them flowers.
What about life before the war do you miss most?
Having my family together. Never again will I be able to go home and have us all sit around and be a family. This war will forever divide us.
What do you foresee will happen in the future of our nation after the war?
I believe your work will prevail, and the United States of America will stay together, and slavery will forever end.
Thank you for telling your touching story, and thank you for being here.
Well, I'm sorry. It was April 14th, 1865. Abe and I had gone to see the play Our American's Cousin at the Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. I was sitting right next to him. I didn't really hear John Wilkes Booth coming up from behind us. I just heard the loud bang of the gun. Apparently, John Wilkes Booth then jumped from our box and tried to escape, but was shot and killed by a soldier before he could be brought to justice. But I really didn't pay attention to that. I just saw my poor Abe fall from his chair. We, then took him over to the Petersons' house that was across the street from the theater, and we laid him down on the bed. I knew he wasn't going to make it. I sat down next to him that whole night with one of our sons, Robert, and on the morning of April 15th at 7:22, Abe passed away. He was the first president ever to be assassinated. After his death, I received a letter of condolences from around the world. I received one from the Queen of England, and I wrote back saying, "I have received the letter which your Majesty has had the kindness to write. I am deeply grateful for this expression and tender sympathy, coming as I do, from a heart which from its own sorrow can appreciate the intense grief I now endure. I will continue to grieve for the rest of my life."
After this interview, one of her dear sons, Thomas, died. Overwhelmed with grief, Mrs. Lincoln became clinically insane. She attempted to commit suicide, almost jumped out of a window because of a non-existent fire, and convinced herself that a man tried to kill her. She was institutionalized, and on July 16, 1882, at the age of 63, Mary Ann Todd Lincoln died of natural causes.